You may know author Brianna Craft from her tour de force, Everything That Rises, a climate change memoir. Her new book, You Don't Have Time for This, a young adult novel, is one of the 25 must read books in 2024 by Black authors, according to Net Gallery. Today I've got Brianna Craft with me. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute joy to be here.
Great. So how does a UK-based climate activist, that's first plane, ends up writing a young adult book about teen romance and environmental justice?
Well, I work in the UK as a climate change researcher, but I am from the Pacific Northwest where we don't have time for this is set. And actually, I auditioned to write this book. The folks at Disney wanted something for young people that spoke to environmental justice and auditioned climate folks to write it. And I am so thrilled to be the one who got the audition and to work together to develop We Don't Have Time for This, which everyone can read now.
So why is it you wanted to reach this particular audience?
I love the young adult genre. It's really important to me still. I think it's a time in our lives where we're all questioning kind of the world and our place in it and what we want to do with ourselves. We're asking big questions for the first time. And We Don't Have Time for This gets to introduce some of those big questions, which you get to see through the eyes of Issa and Darius, our main characters. And though We Don't Have Time for This is rated for readers 12 and up, I certainly think it has messages for everyone as we all continue to ask questions about what we can do about climate and environmental justice.
Now, Brianna, have you found that young people can relate to climate change more readily than other social issues?
Mm. I certainly think that young people who are growing up now, are growing up in a climate where the impacts of the climate crisis are unignorable. I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, where wildfires every summer keep us indoors looking out at apocalyptic landscapes. And it really is just so completely ignorable and so different even than when I grew up here. So I think this age group doesn't have the luxury of questioning whether or not it's happening, questioning what we need to do. They know that we need to stop burning fossil fuels now, and they're wondering what role they can play in creating a new system for where we get our energy.
A new revolution, that's what we need. You know, the political engagement of the two pragmatists, Isa and Darius, how are they alike and what draws them together?
So our main characters, Issa and Darius. Issa is a real community-driven girly. She has moved around a lot as a child and is so excited to be starting her third consecutive year at Lakewood High. So excited to have a home that she can call home. And when wildfires and the construction of a new natural gas pipeline threaten her dad's job, it pushes her into the Environmental Justice Club, and that's where she meets Darius. Darius is our straight-laced, overachieving member of the Advanced Placement Squad, and he wants to be the president of the Environmental Justice Club because it'll look good on his college applications. And as you can imagine, sparks fly between Issa and Darius. Darius is African American, and Issa's father is from American Samoa.
Interesting. Okay, so we don't have time for this. What is the significance of the title?
Well, we don't have time for this is a not so subtle hint that we don't have time to wait to change our methods of getting energy. Again, we have got to stop burning fossil fuels to create a livable climate for everyone. We need to switch from the current system of pollution to systems that are community owned, that are efficient, and that draw energy from renewable resources. And Issa and Darius's story really brings to life for folks that everyone has a role to play in this transition. They bring all their energy, their humor, their love, their creativity to the table. And I hope it helps people imagine for themselves the roles that they could play in changing things and changing the system for the better and creating a livable climate for everybody.
Last question. What do you hope readers take away from the book?
Well, first and foremost, We Don't Have Time for This is a love story, so I really do hope it keeps people turning pages to see if Issa and Darius are finally going to get together. They start off really not liking each other, and so we are gripped to kind of see if they're going to be able to overcome their differences and develop other feelings. So it makes a great summer read. And then the second thing is just kind of this call to action that we all have a role to play and we really don't have time to wait. We need everyone to help change the system for the better.
I've been speaking with author Brianna Craft, talking about her new book, We Don't Have Time for This. She is from the upper Pacific Northwest. Where about exactly is that?
So I'm coming to you from Kelso, Washington. We Don't Have Time for This is set in a fictionalized version of Lakewood, Washington. So we're slightly outside of Olympia, the west side of Washington State.
Wow, you ready for this, Brianna? I was born in Vancouver, Washington. That's why I was
For the
asking.
win! Neighbors!
Definitely. Brianna Craft, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend and being a neighbor of mine.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome.
Thank you.